You're listening to the best talk shows, the hottest hits, all on the number one college internet radio in the nation. Chapman Radio starts now.
Hey!
Yeah?
What the hell is this?
It's live from Henley Basement.
What's going on, everybody? It is live from Henley Basement, and you guys are listening to DJ Sawtooth in the Cut with
DJ Iceman.
With DJ Stats.
With DJ Big D.
And DJ Saba.
All right, guys. So on our episode today, we got a pretty packed show. And like usual, we're starting off with Inside the Playbook with Nick and Josh. We're going to get right into it with Audio Obscura with Griffin, followed by Golden Beats with Caroline. We also got our Broken News, Black Mirror sections, and we are going to finish it off with a For the Record segment with our DJ Ice Mike. But first, we are going to get through some of our Ducking High questions like usual. So what do we got today, guys?
Ooh, let's pick a card.
You want to pick him?
Pick a card anywhere.
Okay. All right. Iceman going in. All right.
Let's read it.
You just crushed up a bag of goldfish and snorted it. Explain your high. Okay. Who wants to start here?
I think the high is less from the goldfish and more from whatever painkillers they're giving you at the hospital for snorting goldfish.
Interesting.
I agree with that one.
I would like to imagine it's pretzel flavored goldfish. Those are the best ones, I think. Have you guys never had those?
No, I've had
No.
them. I'm just trying
I've had
to...
goldfish in a long time.
I'm now appraising all of the different flavors of goldfish that I've had in my time. You know?
The snack that smiles back. Goldfish.
Yeah.
Does this music play the entire time?
It does.
Oh my god.
Would you like to see?
It's like really annoying.
Right now, if you'd like. No,
That's
I can
good.
pause. See,
This
I
is
just paused it
jam.
right there. There you go.
Okay, awesome.
Well,
No, but like if we had to decide whether like Goldfish had like some property that created a high, what would Goldfish do? Like, is that a?
It's sativia. Sativia indica.
Okay.
Isn't it
Yeah.
sativa?
It's goldfish.
Yo, true.
It is goldfish. Goldfish is goldfish. DJ Iceman 2023.
All right, let's get the second question going.
All right, second question here. We'll pick a random card here. Any card. All right. This is a difficult one. Which two superpowers would create the most unstoppable janitor?
I don't know.
Why would we want to stop a janitor?
No, the most unstoppable, meaning like the best janitor ever.
Okay.
That's like one of the worst
Indicating
questions
that
in there.
somebody
too, like-
may
It
wanna
is.
stop
I
the
can pull
janitor.
another question.
Yeah, exactly.
I can pull a third question
that's
if
a
you
stupid
want.
I
question.
would like to say super speed at least.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Super speed and maybe like telekinesis or
Telekinesis?
What about extra long arms though? Can
being
you
able
reach
to just
anything?
move things with your
Stretchy
mind.
man?
you know?
Yeah, just reach anything.
Or maybe phase. He could like phase through walls.
That
That could
That'd be
good.
cool.
Yeah.
I am gonna pull a third one because
Yeah.
that one was a little bit weaker. This game for everyone watching is called Ducking High. These questions will make you high. All right. The last one. If the cops knocked on the door right now, who would we want to do the talking of people sitting at this table?
Oh man.
Oh.
Oh.
And this could be for any reason, by the way.
I mean, I'm wearing a fucking pride pin, so I am the last person that wants to be talking to a cop right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just snorted some goldfish. There's no way I'm getting anywhere near that cop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody have experience?
Yes,
talking
that
to
was my
cops?
first question because I don't. So
Do I? I don't know. Have I ever spoken to a police officer?
Well, I could tell you
like in
off
a
tops.
weird way.
If you
No, I
say
have, yeah, yeah.
anything, you're saying too much.
Yeah.
That right
don't
there's
talk
your
to
first
cops.
mistake. Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
That is true.
No,
yeah.
no. Actually, I did talk to some police before. Like,
Oh,
13,
yeah, when I was a
12.
kid, like 14, I was like, me and my friends were caught trespassing at like this pool, and so the police like was like asking us all our names and like took down a bunch of our information. Yes.
okay.
And
you
to
ever
this
get in
day,
trouble?
they're
What?
still looking for Darius.
Yeah, they're still looking for me.
He's on the run.
No, but you know, I think I could do pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you give me those vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if a cop came in right now.
Rather calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right though. Yeah.
But it's that what is it? You have the right to exercise your silence.
You have the
Right
Yeah.
to remain silent.
Remain silence. Yeah.
Although nobody tends to use that, right?
And
Yeah.
anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, which is true. They will literally use anything you say to try to get you.
Not only that, but they can also stretch the truth
Yeah.
to an extreme extent, saying that they have found evidence, DNA evidence, any type of thing.
Literally,
to-
they're just like allowed to lie to you.
Yeah, just outright. Just as soon as you say you did it, though, there it is.
What did you say, Darius, when they asked you that
What?
at 14 when you trespassed into the pool?
I don't even remember. I don't think I was talking. I was just scared.
Oh, you weren't the one talking that
No.
time. No.
So your experience is that you've seen someone talk to a cop.
No, I was. Well, I said my name and like my address or whatever, but they didn't do anything about it. They just didn't care. I don't think. Yeah.
All right, so that's going to finish up our intro for today. Coming up, guys, we got our Inside the Playbook with Nick and Josh, so stick around. But in the meantime, listen to Bee Baba Doobie, the Glue song.
I've never known someone like you, tangled in love, stuck by you, found a clue. Don't forget to kiss me, or else you'll have was wrong. I need you. I always knew I'd find you. To be here is worth the wait. To I'm not lying when I say I've been stuck by the glue to you. I've been stuck by glue. Right after you. I've been stuck by glue. I've never known. I've never known someone like you. I've never known. I've never known someone like you. I don't wanna talk right now. I just wanna watch TV. I'll stay in the pool and drown, so I don't have to watch you leave. I put on Survivor just to watch somebody suffer. Maybe I should get some sleep. Sinking in the sofa while they all betray each other. What's the point of anything? All of my friends are missing again. That's what happens when you fall in love. You don't have the time. You leave them all behind. You tell yourself it's fine, you're just in love. Don't know where you are right now. Did you see me on TV? I'll try not to starve myself just because you're mad at me. And I'll be in denial for at least a little while. What about the plans we made? The internet's gone wild, watching movie stars on trial while they're overturning Roe v. Wade. And now all of my friends are missing again. 'Cause that's what happens when you fall in love. You don't have the time. You leave them all behind. And you tell yourself it's fine, you're just in love. And I don't get along with anyone. Maybe I'm the
You're listening to Inside the Playbook with your host, Nick and Josh, your number one destination for sports talk radio. What's going on, everybody? It is your host, Nick Mantooth, with Josh and Griffin today. We are in Inside the Playbook on this Tuesday afternoon and live from Henley Basement. And we are covering a few different topics today. Josh, why don't you cover them from top to bottom real quick?
All right. Well, we can get a quick two out of the way because they're kind of just some quick readers. The first one is that Draymond Green, legend of the Golden State Warriors, has opted out of his $27.6 million player option. The Warriors could sign him to a cheaper deal. He could get a max from a team like the Pistons, where he is from, in the Detroit area, or sign a smaller deal with another contending team like the Mavericks, for example. And also, Ja Morant suspended for 25 games by the NBA for his off-the-court issues. Definitely a huge blow to the Grizzlies. Obviously, the Players Association not happy about this, want there to be fewer games. But the main three topics we have today, we got the Bradley Beal trade, which we're about to discuss, Angels versus Dodgers preview, and the greatest athlete of all time. But now let's just get it started with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal has been traded to the Phoenix Suns, creating a new big three of Chris Paul, of Devin Booker,
Yep.
Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. Beal was traded for Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, a bunch of second-round picks, a couple of pick swaps, and the Suns also got Isaiah Todd, who's an interesting young player, but I want to hear what the panel thinks. What do you think about this trade for both sides?
I did see something that stuck out to me, that Chris Paul went on air and said that he was actually surprised that he had got traded and had the quote that anything can happen in this league, which kind of just not threw up a red flag, but just definitely made it a point of emphasis for me to look at that he was extremely unaware. And not only unaware, it almost sounded like he wasn't overly in favor of heading over to Washington. I can understand why, because at this point it sounds like the curse will live forever, that he will be unable to win a ring. I don't know what magic is going to happen from Washington this year to make the finals for Chris, but...
Well, I have a theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Chris Paul will not be a Wizard next season. He will get bought out. That is my first thing, because he's going to tell the owners, I'm not playing for you.
Yeah.
He's not going to say this, but you're a terrible franchise. It's
Yeah.
true, but he won't say it. So I have
because you can't publicly say that as an athlete, but you can politically correct say that. Yes.
I have some destinations in mind.
Okay.
I mean, as a Lakers fan, I don't like it. He's too old. It fits, though, and LeBron loves him.
The experience level, yeah.
And obviously, Chris Paul was denied a ring with Kobe. We all know that.
Yep.
That he was denied a ring.
or whatever it was.
2011.
11 too?
Oh, it was 11 probably. They probably could have beat the big three Heat. Because Kobe would never have got hurt because he wouldn't have had to play 48 minutes a game. But I have a sleeper team where Chris Paul could go.
Okay.
Now, there's been some Cat rumors and he might get traded, but if you keep Cat, Minnesota. Think about this. They need a point guard. Anthony Edwards, I think, is going to become a top 10 player in the league next year. I am so high on Anthony Edwards. Cat's a good number 2. Gobert's paint defense is still very good. You need someone who can kind of run the show. McDaniels at the 3 is a great defender.
Pat Beverly's not going to get it done.
He's not in Minnesota.
No. No.
Yeah. What do you think about Chris Paul in Minnesota? Because if Cat was healthy, they would have been a higher seed, I feel.
I think they would have. I think they would have put up a bigger fight, but I still don't think that they would have been competing for a title. I don't think that that's the large of a jump that they would have made.
It's better than Washington. It's far better than Washington.
That is true, but I don't think that even in that position that they get to the finals, I don't think that they get past anybody in the East or the West, honestly. I think the Celtics would smack them. I think the Nuggets would smack them. I think even the Heat would get by them. I think the Lakers might have slipped by. I think they're still a early second round exit.
Well, where I think Chris Paul's actually going to end up, and I think who could use him the most, is Boston.
Interesting.
Because they need someone who can pass the ball around. You got Tatum, you got Brown who could score.
Yeah.
I like Brogdon.
So who are you thinking about trading from the Celtics then in something like that?
I mean, I feel like you just don't need Peyton Pritchard on the roster.
Okay.
If you're going to sign Chris Paul, I feel like Peyton Pritchard's kind of out of there. Maybe you give up a late first in like 2028, 2029.
Okay.
Just a
future
you're picking
pick.
up a contract, yeah. Maybe Gallinari because he's injured and you can get bought out too. Maybe you have to
Would
trade.
the Wizards want Gallinari though?
Maybe you traded Derek White or a Marcus Smart to make the money work because I think they're a little bit repetitive of a player there.
Definitely.
I like Grant Williams a lot. I think he'll get re-signed, but I just think having Boston, because you could play Tatum at the 3 or 4, depending on what you do with Williams or Horford. You know, so I just think he can win a ring there. Because if they had Chris Paul on that team, they probably don't go down 3-0.
I would find that hard to believe, but, you know, I didn't think they were going to do it even without Chris Paul, to be honest. So I don't know, you know. I do think his experience level would bring a different aspect to that team that they're on their way to. They've been to a few Eastern Conference Finals, but I think they're missing that key piece. So I like that fit.
Right, but what about the Suns' point of view here, though? You have your
with Bradley Beal?
You have your big 3. Ayton is the key for me. I think you have to trade Ayton for some form of bench depth, because you can get some bench depth for Ayton. I'm hearing Dallas, maybe you get the 10th pick. You could flip that even on draft night for even more assets. I want to know what you think of that.
No, I think that's exactly what they should do. I think last year when they traded Bridges over to New York, that was a big piece that was missing. He exploded in New York, and I mean, exploded like nobody saw coming, and that was a big piece. Chris Paul is another big piece, but I think moving Chris was more of a foundation piece. Like, they moved kind of their heart away, because they've been riding with Chris for a little bit now, and it was almost a surprise to him. So it was almost like a culture change, in my opinion. But I do think that they need a little bit of depth, like you said, especially if they're going to try and compete for championships still. But I hope it doesn't end up like the New York Knicks situation, or the New York Brooklyn Nets situation. I really don't.
Right, yeah, because they don't have a point guard. You know, because it's like Beal and Booker aren't bad playmakers, but it's not great. Durant's fine. It's like Campaign's a cool backup. I like him off the bench, but it's like I don't trust him.
He did have that good one postseason a few years ago, but
and he dropped 33 in the game when Chris Paul got hurt.
Yeah, so he has stepped up every once in a while.
He has,
but for a reliable, I don't know.
Yeah, for a full season, I would have to disagree there. I don't know who else you would sign there again. The no trade clause affected this trade as well.
That is also big, yeah.
And something I found, the last thing here, and then we're going to move on, but Bradley Beal's agent, his son, works for the Suns.
Really?
Yes, so there's a rumor there, potentially, about, that there was something going on there. But anyways, let us move on here to Angels-Dodgers preview. Today and tomorrow, Kershaw pitching today versus Reed Detmers. Ohtani, the Dodgers have been undecided for tomorrow. What do you all think are the keys for the series? I want to hear from you, Griffin, because I know you're a baseball person over here.
Yeah, no. I mean, what really comes down to, is who are they putting up against Ohtani? Because Kershaw's great. Detmers, not that great. I would love to see the Angels win this game, but going into it, I'm not super hopeful.
Yeah. No, I can understand why with Detmer's 4.5 ERA damn near.
Yeah.
And then a sub-3 ERA from Kershaw.
We just got the lineup for the Angels.
Yeah.
And
where's Ward tonight?
Ward is first.
He's first again? Okay.
Yeah, and we're calling up Padlo.
Okay, all right.
Which he's been hot in the minors this season, but, not Joe Adele hot.
Yeah.
Padlo's playing first, but he's got 7 homers.
I would love to know how many guys we've had at first base this season. We had Urshela, we've had Walsh, I think we've had Wallach.
Did we put Wallach on first once?
Wallach is catching today.
He's catching today.
He's catching
I don't know if
today,
we put him at first, but I know we've had a carousel over there.
Rengifo is at third. We've got Squid at short,
Okay.
and Drury's at second. I like Drury at second.
No
Yeah, he's
Urshela
been
in this
picking
line.
it up.
No Urshela. Well, Gio's hurt.
He hurt his hip.
Gio is out for the season hurt.
Yeah. He hurt
I
his
just
hip.
saw him play 2 days ago.
He got hurt 2 days ago.
Yeah, he's
Because I know
he's done
Rendon
for
just got on,
months.
because I saw him get hit in the wrist. That looked like that one.
So
hurt.
Gio Urshela was running down first base on a slow roller, I believe, and he on his last step he overextended towards first base, and then he was stumbling afterwards, and then tried to slow up, and his right hip almost looked like it popped up and kind of just locked up, and he went down, and he stayed
right
in the
hip
game,
fracture.
but yeah,
I think.
yeah.
No, he's
Man.
he's laid up for the rest of the season.
That was the only guy hitting 300 for us, so
Yeah.
no big deal.
So
I mean,
fucking
now you got
cool.
Ohtani in 300.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
I know.
Yeah, no.
Currently, and can we talk about Mike Trout, dude, not having the best year and still
No.
making it first round All-Star voting?
Well, he's doing hot now.
He's been
He's
picking it up.
heating up.
I will say though, with the All-Star voting, it's fan voting.
Oh yeah, no, it's a popularity contest.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Jake Berger, not even on the ballot. It's, yeah.
No, I do not like Jake Berger.
do
My
like
Dodgers
Jake Berger.
fans, you know what I'm talking about. He destroyed us in one game.
I love it.
Jake Berger, I mean, I love the build, man.
Yeah.
I love it. You
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
he's fast. I mean, I would want to like him, but you destroyed my Dodgers.
Yeah, always.
So-
That's why I like him so much. Come
So,
on now.
in the perspective of a Dodgers fan, Kershaw's pitching today.
Yes, that's a win.
Who are you putting up against Otani?
Well, as I'm trying to look and see who pitched recently, we had Bobby Miller started our 15-0 loss versus the Giants.
That one was a tough
We never
one.
said that, by the way.
Ouch.
That never happened. But on the 16th.
Yeah, there we go.
Ah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
You know, that really just made my day there. You know, we had a rookie come up who pitched pretty well. Emmett Shaheen pitched pretty well on the 16th. Obviously, Gonsolin just pitched, so that can't happen. It might be Emmett Shaheen, because Urias isn't going to be back yet. He's not back for around a week. Dustin May for another
What happened to
couple
Urias?
weeks. I forget. Yeah, he had a setback.
Uh,
He's been out for a while. Bueller not till September. So and the thing is, I'm going to the game on Wednesday when Otani's pitching. Should have picked Tuesday.
Did you guys hear that? That Dodgers fan saying that he's going to a game because of an Angels player?
No. I want to point this out. My family bought these tickets 3 months ago, before we knew. I mean, it's Otani. He's gonna be a Dodger.
It's just a good chance.
nah,
He's
man,
gonna be a
he's
Dodger.
not going to the Dodgers.
I don't think so. I think the biggest market would definitely have to be New York.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that would
it's
be the
which
place.
New York team, you know?
It is.
Well,
And the way the Mets are going right now, it is.
yeah, the Mets
Yikes.
are. Who's the most disappointing team? The Mets, Padres, or Cardinals? It's one of those three.
It's the Yankees.
$290 million budget, and you guys aren't even in the playoff picture right now.
I mean,
You guys, the Angels are now in sole possession of the wild card, I believe. I don't know if that's still the way.
I can
but
check that right now.
I mean,
It
at
was
least
that
the
way about
Yankees.
a
At least
day
the
ago.
Yankees aren't 15 games under 500 like the Cardinals.
oh no, Yankees just made it back up above the
Oh,
line.
did they?
But
'Cause they won yesterday.
yeah, no,
we
but
didn't
we're
have a
still
game.
2 games. Or we're a full game ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, they didn't play yesterday either. Okay.
Speaking of the standings, the Angels are on a hot streak. It's second place, 4.5
Absolutely.
back of the Rangers still though, and 1 up on the Astros. Dodgers are in third place, 4
Right.
games behind the Diamondbacks. We're only a half game behind the Giants though.
Yeah, you know.
We're gonna pass the Giants. I'm full confidence that we're gonna finish better than the Giants.
See, it doesn't feel like that because a 15-0 loss against that team doesn't feel like half a game.
We're gonna keep
I
bringing
think
that up.
I think
Oh,
if
we're
we
gonna
win-
milk it, dude. Until
Yeah,
the Angels do
absolutely.
something embarrassing, we're gonna take
yeah.
this
It's
win.
gonna be
That's
tomorrow.
right.
It's gonna be tonight.
I
Yeah,
think
it's gonna
that
be
if
tonight.
The Angels win tonight, that the Angels are gonna start turning some heads. Already in
Yeah.
some power rankings, some Ben Verlander on Twitter, a little shout out.
Well,
but
Ben Verlander likes us.
Yeah, he does. He
Verlander is
always
literally
has.
the only
He's a little
sports
biased
writer
towards
that
your boy
likes
Justin.
us.
I don't like anyone with the last name Verlander.
That's fair.
No, but
Hey
we've
Justin,
been-
Jock Peterson hit 3 home runs off you in the 2017 World Series. Just want to point that out with all that cheating. So,
That's funny.
but anyways, we have our final topic here: the greatest athlete of all time. There have been many, many, many great athletes dating back centuries. We got Jim Brown, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Floyd, Muhammad Ali, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, just to name a few.
Yeah.
But who do we think is the greatest athlete of all time? I'm going to start with you here, Nick.
All right. So, what I think it means to be an athlete first is you have to be at least to be considered one of the greats in your respective sports.
Sure.
I also think that it encompasses more than just being an athlete. I think being an athlete off the field is as important. By that I mean a role model. Being like a Charles Barkley, I'm not a role model. I think as an athlete, that damages your reputation. I think a reputation does go hand in hand with being an athlete. But just to get it out there, I think my greatest athlete of all time would have to be Mr. Bo Jackson. He is the 2-time athlete, the dual athlete, played football and he played baseball. Not only that, but he was an all-star in both. I do have some stats, but just to get it a little out the way, go ahead, Josh. Who are we going up against?
All right. Well, obviously my favorite athlete of all time is Kobe Bryant, but I don't think he's the GOAT in his own sport, so I can't pick Kobe. But my unbiased pick has to be one of the best athletes of all time. My GOAT Michael Phelps. This man dominated the sport of swimming. Like, I don't think we've ever seen someone dominate a sport like we saw Michael Phelps. At 15, he was winning world championships. So I think that has to be brought up into it. I'll get started with some stats here. During the Beijing Games, 2008, Phelps set 7 different world records, 8 American records, and 8 Olympic records. And Michael Phelps in the 2008 Olympics won 9 gold medals in one Olympics. Never been done before. He outmedaled 7 different countries in total, just with his gold medals.
And we're talking about for swimming?
And no, countries in total medals.
So there were countries that didn't even get 9 gold medals?
Yes.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Who do you have for Griffin?
And if you don't,
I was
you can
only
just
I
listen
was
to
only
ours.
presented this question maybe 20
no
minutes ago
worries.
at most. So I can't make a perfectly informed decision. I do like the idea of looking towards more of the global scale for like something like the Olympics. When you were talking about Phelps, my immediate thought went to like Usain Bolt.
That's a good pick. I actually consider that. That's a good pick.
Definitely.
I mean, man still has the record for the 100-meter, and he set it in 2009. Like, a person would want to say for as simple a sport as sprinting, but like, sprinting is not simple.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah, if you've ever tried, yeah.
no, like I'd collapse. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not an athlete, but no, Usain Bolt is just, inspiring, honestly. And so he's someone that comes to mind. Some ones that like jump into my head that I then immediately go, no. I mean, like, especially as far as like the reputation and stuff like that. Babe Ruth could, but I don't even really think he's the GOAT.
Competition there?
Yeah, I
Competition
think there's
level's
I
gotta
think
be.
there's
Yeah.
an era gap.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
a big
different
era
sport
gap.
back then, yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
to be the like contrarian, I am certain that there was probably some like unknown nameless like Greek wrestler or something like that
Yeah.
way back in the in the golden age of
Yeah,
Greece
that nobody heard
that
of
no
except
one
for
heard
his
of
town,
except for his town.
Probably true.
Yeah, that probably like if he were alive today would be fucking insane.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
no, I mean Phelps is a good choice.
All right.
Both,
Let me
yeah.
give-
let's
give
let's
me-
hear
give me
about you.
some
Let's hear
background
it.
from my guy. All right.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Not that one. All right. So, for Mr. Vincent
Fat fingered
Edward
the
Jackson,
next button.
Yeah, no, my bad on that one. A little finger slip.
We apologize for some technical
Yeah, sorry about
difficulty.
that.
You will hear that
Anyways.
banger coming up pretty
You
soon.
will.
More like techno difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
So, just for another little background, when I say athlete, I think of the term a baseball player is an athlete because he can do any sport. If you put a baseball player on a basketball court, he can make it happen. If you put a basketball player on the baseball field, it doesn't look as nice or as clean. I think that baseball players just have that knack about
Someone's
them that
done
they
that.
can. What's that?
No, I'm
Aaron Judge
yeah.
played all 3 sports in high school. Had
Exactly.
scholarships for all 3.
Exactly.
So it is possible.
It's possible.
And that's what I think entiles like an athlete, you know.
Yeah.
And so in college, if
Jackie.
we're talking about Bo Jackson, he won the Heisman at Auburn. He also did a 7-foot high jump while also hitting 388 career-wise at Auburn. That's just in college. So you won the Heisman while getting a 7-foot high jump. And then you went into the NFL where you averaged 5.5 yards per carry in 3 out of your 4 seasons. Last year, how many running backs averaged 5.5 yards per carry?
You already told me this answer, so I won't answer.
Technically, it would be 0.
Oh, shit.
It
You
depends
lied to
if
me.
you want to include Khalil Herbert, but I don't know what the
Shout out
least-
Khalil Herbert. Underrated season last year.
He
as a side-
did get hurt. He was
side.
on my fantasy team. I traded for him, but he did get hurt. But I think he has a bounce back year next year. I hope at least. He's still high on my projection list. Anyways, we are still talking about greatest athlete of all time. Past that, he also has 2 foundations that he does off the field, if you didn't know. So all
that's
around
cool.
good guy.
Michael Phelps has a foundation as well.
There
Wanna
you
point
go.
that out
See,
too,
and
but-
that's what I think that we find similar is that athletes aren't just on the field. You
Yeah,
know?
100%.
They have the foundations. For example, the Bo Knows campaign. That also started his Bo Give Me a Chance Foundation. So that just gives kids a better chance at playing sports in low-income areas, along with Bo Bikes Bama. And back in 2011, a tornado came in and hit home in, I think it was Tennessee. So he made just a foundation for them as well.
Well, I'd imagine it's Alabama.
Yeah, I would figure, right?
Something I do want to say, though,
Yes.
about what you brought up, 4 seasons in the NFL.
Yes.
That tends to lean longevity not on his side, whereas Michael Phelps was in 5 Olympic Games, the most in American history.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he won at least 5 gold medals in all 5 of those games.
That is incredibly
meaning
true.
that he never had a bad Olympics.
That's
Ever.
absolutely
He never had a
incredible.
bad world championships.
Who's
Ever.
the next most golds in American history? Like for the Olympics?
That is a good question. I'm actually going to Google that.
That'd be Biles? Simone?
I think it might either be Simone or if we're talking winter, might be Shaun White.
I don't know, though. Shaun
He
White.
didn't compete for like ever.
Yeah.
But to your point,
No.
absolutely. The longevity was not there for Jackson, but what was there was creativity, ingenuity, I guess, because he is in the one-of-one club. We did talk about Deion Sanders playing both sports as well, although he was never an all-star in both. So I think that we're going to come back to this next week. We're definitely going to finish up this discussion. But coming up next, we do have our Audio Obscura with Griffin. And so
I have the answer, though. Not to cut you off, but
okay, what's that? Answer to what?
it's Jenny Thompson has 12. That is the next highest. Ryan Lochte also with 12, another
wow.
swimmer. And to a lot of other
And
swimmers.
how many does Phelps have? Just
Phelps
for
has
comparison?
28.
Yeah, no.
See what
Big
I
gap.
mean? And
Big
Phelps
gap.
is also the highest of any person ever at the Olympics with gold medals as well.
Wow, good to know. All right, well, you are listening to High for the Summer by Cub Sport.
say you wanna get away. We don't need a plane, I could be your escape. Take you to a place where there's no time, no space. I could be your private island on a different planet. Anything could happen. Listen to the waves, let them wash away your pain. Love could be your fantasy. Trees, you can leave your worries. Listen to the waves. They say you wanna get so high. Breathe me in like air tonight. Listen to the waves. You babe, you listen to the so you say you wanna get so high, breathe me in like air tonight. Let yourself unwind, get lost in the garden of my mind. I could be your private island underneath the palm trees. You can leave your worries. Listen to the waves. Let them wash away your pain. Love could be your fantasy. Love could be your fantasy. Underneath the palm trees, you can leave your worries. Listen to the waves. They say you wanna get so high. Breathe me in like air tonight. Listen to the waves. You babe, you you babe, you you babe, you listen to the waves.
While others seek to bring you the comfort of the well-known, we seek to bring you the strange and unusual. Audio Obscura, for those who seek the obscura in audio. Good afternoon, dear listeners. This is DJ Sawbones coming to you with not turning off the automated. Thought I would have learned that from last time. That's my bad, everyone. But good afternoon, as I was saying, and welcome back to Audio Obscura. Today I have quite a special treat here with my guests. If everyone would like to introduce themselves.
Super excited. I'm Renee.
Hello, it's me, DJ Vehicular Manslaughter.
Oh.
DJ Ice.
And DJ Sawtooth in the cut, guys.
All right. So today we're going to be listening to one of my favorite bands, actually. This is the Mountain Goats, who are a California, in fact, Orange County adjacent locals back in Claremont, California. And these artists have been around for quite some time. They started in 1991 and have been producing music until literally this year. They are still producing very good music. And this band is, in my opinion, very special because they have effectively kind of transformed what folk rock has kind of or can turn into by mixing other genres into it. They do a lot of very they have a lot of punk influence, a lot of like old country influence, but what's really amazing is every album is different. Some albums are more rock, some albums are more funk, like funk even, yes, folk. This album in particular is actually very cool because it is a concept album based off of a Dungeons and Dragons game that they played on the road for a couple of years. And so it mixes fantasy themes with their own artistic style. However, not every song is, about wizards and dragons. Only some of them.
Bummer.
But I'll pass around the album cover for my guests to look through. It's a 2-disc record with a centerfold that has all of the lyrics in it. Unfortunately, the script is almost illegible. They chose some, fancy fantasy font for the interior, and you almost can't read the lyrics. It's that tricky.
Nice.
It's like old medieval script.
Yeah, no, it looks very fantasy and very fancy, but
Yeah.
the art is beautiful.
Yeah, because the cover, it makes it look like the little guy's fighting the dragon, and then you open it up inside, and it's like a dragon version of Clifford the Big Red Dog, and they're buddies.
Yeah. Oh, that's you? That's you? All right.
Step Brothers, you gotta call me Dragon.
But yes, the album that we are listening to today is called In League with Dragons, which would imply that the swordsman on the cover is actually fighting alongside that dragon.
The Fuens.
The lead singer, John Darnielle, has lived a rather storied life, and once we start up the album, I'll tell you a little bit about him because he is quite the character. But let's drop the needle, which now we have needles.
No more Needle Thief.
No more
huh?
Needle
No
Thief.
way.
Or the Needle Thief is still at large, but we've just replaced the needles. So let's see how long this lasts. I will step back from the mic, drop the needle, and you can hear the first few minutes of Done Bleeding.
Enjoy.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, guys.
Had to figure out the speed.
Recite the songs that kept me whole on the day I hand over command control. Try to let them all flow in to this one. List alphabetically the toxins the doctors found in me during my time in prison. Count my fingers, every last one. When I get done, clean the floors, well, sweep and swap. Do a thorough job. Leave the old place nicer than I found it.
Now,
Wish well as the neighbors.
this song is called Done Bleeding. It's actually, funnily enough, in connection to another song from a different album talking about famous pitcher Doc Gooden, which is neat.
Really?
Yeah, no. This is like a sequel song about him retiring.
Oh, no shit.
Darnielle, a massive baseball fan, but
I can understand why. You know, nice little melody, kind of reflecting back on a big long career. I can pick those vibes up for sure.
absolutely. But so Darnielle and the Mountain Goats have been together for quite some time. I am reticent to say that they have in fact maintained almost the exact same band for as long as they've been together, since '91. These people are very good friends.
You don't
Obviously.
see that often.
No, you
where
don't.
like a band, or the lineup of a band just stays.
That's wild.
Yeah,
If you have a friend for 7 years, you have a friend for life.
absolutely. I agree with that
No,
statement.
that's the stat. Yeah. If you can surpass the 7-year mark, then you're set. Isn't that wild?
Is that like an official study?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'll pull up the fact.
All right. Show me the proof.
But Darnielle, like I said, has had quite a storied life. The Mountain Goats started out as a band that would sneak into abandoned warehouses to record their stuff with like a fan buzzing in the background. All the way to being one of the honestly largest names within like the indie folk rock scene. They've had quite a few hits over their years. Quite a few that have actually made it massive on things like TikTok, gone viral. You might know No Children, which had a pretty big trend last year, I think. But some of their most famous songs all center around bad things that have happened in John Darnielle's life, of which there are plenty. The man was abused at an early age by his stepfather, like almost beaten to death at one point, and got addicted to several drugs, traveled the country, basically living out of his car.
I just
And
have
then-
a quick question. Was the drugs before or after the music talent was there? Was the drugs because he was famous in music?
No, it was before.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It was
okay.
before.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And he actually has quite a few songs about the drugs.
Okay, cool.
He's clean now and has managed to, I mean, turn his life around isn't even like the right way of saying it. He has completely transformed his life. He is now a critically acclaimed author as well. He's got quite a few books. But the Mountain Goats remain his one of his biggest ventures. And I mean, this man puts his passion into his music. Later on, we'll hear a few more fast songs, but this is younger. This is actually one of the songs that's based off of that D&D campaign. This album in particular represented one of the many turning points that the band made. Before this, they had pretty handedly stuck to, twangy guitar, John Darnielle singing, very folky. But this was the first one that they really started to lean more into like indie rock and even alternative. What I personally love about this band is that their lyrics are intelligent and poetic and very blunt at times. Like Darnielle has a way of beating you over the head with his prose, where he'll write a very simple phrase and then just cap it off with something so profoundly beautiful that just kind of takes you by surprise. So I'll turn Younger back up so you dear listeners might be able to hear a bit more.
You had to use to build your ladder. Moment close at hand. you'll never understand, and it doesn't really matter. Big smile on my face, capsule just in case, underneath my tongue ring. Voices on the breeze, I heard voices once like these when I was younger. Blood rushing to my face, I know that sweet warm taste and the bitter trace. Storm right down that hill. If I don't, no one will. Follow me right through the chaos.
Now, this album has been described by Darnielle rather sarcastically as wizard music. Darnielle is, funnily enough, quite a large fan of metal, rock. I mean, he's effectively a metal historian at this point, and has done quite a lot of work at ensuring that the greats that never really quite made it are heard. But yes, and then the saxophone. Yeah. This is one of the main reasons why I love this song. Is how many like folk rock songs do you know end with a kick-ass sax solo?
I love a good sax solo.
Sax solos are the best. So, initial impressions from the guests. What are you all thinking?
I was gonna ask, do you feel that like someone needs to have like prior knowledge or like prior experience with playing D&D to like this album?
Oh God, no, not at all. There are some strange, especially on the flip side of this track. There is a couple of like weirder songs, but they're just weird. Like it's not necessarily that they're like completely unapproachable because you don't know much about D&D. They did a very good job of like making it just sound like a fantasy album. You know, if you can get into Dragon Force, you know, you can get into this album. Which Dragon Force is kick-ass, by the way.
Absolutely, a little quick shout out.
Yeah.
What year did this come out?
This came out, I believe, in 2017 or 2019. I'm sorry. Yeah, 2019. I actually remember this album coming out while I was on a road trip. It hit Spotify like as we were in the middle of the desert. And my buddies and I were like, oh shit, the new Mountain Goats album just dropped. And like we listened through it 3 times. We were out on our way to Vegas. It was a fun trip. But I'm actually going to fade out of this one and go on to the next of the 2 discs to jump a little bit ahead in the track order. So.
The assault on my lungs and my liver.
Have any of you guys played D&D?
No.
I wish I understood it so I could like have a deeper meaning to like watching Stranger Things.
That's okay. I'm glad that you said that because I did approach it, but I did get confused as well. It's. I had my dad have to explain how to play. So yeah.
To answer the question, yes, I actually play D&D all the time. As a surprise to no one. I've actually got a D&D pin on my jacket. But it's an excellent game.
So, are a lot of the characters in Stranger Things like actually in D&D, or did they like kind of make up their own monster?
So yes and no. Those names,
yeah,
you know, Demogorgon, Vecna, Mind Flayer, yeah, those are all things that are in D&D. They're nothing. Vecna's sort of like what Vecna is in D&D, but for the most part, no. The things that show up aren't actually like what the Stranger Things monsters are. But the coolest thing about D&D is that they can be. Like, you can just decide, yeah, we're using the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. I've played in a game that halfway through we realized that it was just the plot of Shrek.
Oh.
Like, our DM was pranking us, and we're like, wait, this is just Shrek.
This sounds like Funky Town right now.
And the DM then started to die laughing.
So funny.
I've heard of someone doing one that was like, it's just the plot of Jurassic Park. The coolest thing about it about the game.
Because people, like, you have to make like a story with it.
Yeah.
Like, you need like a plot. To
Yeah,
play
totally.
the game.
And
okay, so you just
the
steal
coolest
it.
thing is that it's just really just a bunch of friends sitting around making up a story together.
Yeah.
And the rules are just there to like keep the story running in a way that's not just like, you know, playground style. Oh, and then I do this. Well, I do this better. No, I do it better. You know, like the dice, the rules. It's all there to provide structure. But it's really just it's no different really than writers sitting around a table in a writing room, coming up with like the next season of Game of Thrones that'll flop. You know.
So then, was this like album then like made as like a movie soundtrack to like a D&D game?
Not quite. It was more that they played this game and then they decided, you know, there's a couple of like concepts within that game that would make a pretty kick-ass like fantasy folk rock album, and then they wrote it because John Darnielle is like an uber nerd, and I say that with love because I'm also an uber nerd. Like, dude plays Magic the Gathering, like, you know, it's a card game. It's a very expensive card game. But no, what I love about how John Darnielle like incorporates his honestly like nerdiness, let's be real, into the way that he writes. He's not afraid to get very conceptual, very heady with his stuff, but he always keeps it grounded in a way that people can understand. One of the next bands that I'm bringing is very similar, except that they just use like words that you have to bust out a thesaurus for. It's honestly expanded my vocabulary quite a lot listening to that band. But that band being the Decemberists, which will be in the next few shows. I'm gonna make them whatever the last show is.
Are you familiar with the members of this band?
Like personally?
Not personally.
Oh.
Like, do you just know?
Yeah, no. So John Darnielle, Peter Hughes, and John Worster are the main three, and then it's kind of a rotating cast after that. John Darnielle is the Mountain Goats. Like, he's the guy.
Kind of just like how Tame Impala is just.
I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean,
he's like the Paul Simon.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far because that implies there's some animosity between, you know. But that song was Doc Gooden, by the way. And
what was the name?
Doc Gooden. That's the one about that picture that I was saying.
That's right.
But we are actually going to let this last song play out as I say goodbye. This was a quick little invitation and instruction to listen to the Mountain Goats. Follow the Mountain Goats on Twitter. John Darnielle is very funny. And listen to This Year by the Mountain Goats in your own time and cry listening to it because it's a brilliant song.
Really quick, I wanted to ask. I only asked because I was kind of curious to know, for the members of the band, how would you like, if you guys were all playing D&D, how would you like archetype them?
Oh God, I don't even know. I feel like John is a bard. Bards are talkative, creative, musical. As far as Peter Hughes and John Worster, I don't quite know. I'm not as familiar with those two. But no, these guys have been a pretty big inspiration into my own musical endeavors and my own musical tastes. And this song, for all you listeners at home, is Going Invisible 2. The first version wasn't quite good enough to make the album, it seems. But if anyone else has anything else to say, I'll let this play out, and then we can move on to Big Star by Honey as we move along in It's Live from Henley Basement. If no one else has anything to say, this has been DJ Sawbones with Audio Obscura. Thank you so much for listening, and of course, as always, happy Pride. Trans rights are humans' rights. Have a good day.
Down today, okay. I'm gonna burn it all down today and sweep all the ashes away. I'm gonna burn it all down today, okay. I'm gonna burn it all down today, sweep all the ashes away. I'm gonna burn it all down today, okay. I'm gonna burn it all down today, sweep all the ashes away. Big day, don't feel it, don't wanna honor regret. So loud it goes, all night it goes. Fresh paint, the same ceiling, this shade of green is healing. They say, but I feel the same way. Don't stay in that headspace. Lost side living underground. It took time to get me out. And don't stay in your old ways. A big star can't fall off it. You're something supersonic. Big day, I feel it. Keep that refrain repeating. So loud it goes, all night it goes. Fresh paint, same ceiling. This shade of green is healing. They say I'm inclined to agree. Don't stay in that headspace. Lost side living underground. Yeah, it took time to get me out. And don't stay in your old ways. A big star can't fall off it. You're something supersonic. 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 Oh, oh, oh. You're something supersonic. fresh paint, same ceiling. This shade of green is healing. They say, but I feel the same way. Don't stay in that headspace. Lost side, living underground. It took time to get me out. And don't stay in your old ways. A big star can't fall off it. You're something supersonic. Big day, I feel it. Keep that refrain repeating so loud it goes. All night it goes. Fresh paint, same ceiling. This shade of green is healing. They say I'm inclined to agree. Don't stay in that headspace. Lost side, living underground. It took time to get me out. And don't stay in your old ways. A big star can't fall off it. You're something supersonic. 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 Oh, oh, oh. You're something supersonic.
Listen to the wind blow. Unleash the sound of the underground and above. This is Golden Beats Radio.
Hello guys, welcome to Golden Beats Radio. This is your host Caroline, and today I wanted to talk about specifically some Ukrainian artists today in I keep on saying in honor of like what's going on with the crisis that I'm sure everyone knows about, the Russian-Ukraine crisis. I really wanted to highlight the local Ukrainian artists, especially how impactful the Ukrainian sound is to the electronic scene. I think it's best to talk about and support the artists. So today we're listening to Splinter UA and their song Locked Up. That was Locked Up by Splinter. So I hope you guys liked that. In the meantime, when you guys were listening to that, me and my co-host were talking about how she was interpreting that song. You wanna talk about what you thought about that?
Me?
Yeah.
How I just felt like a sim in a video game in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were talking how like you would put this on and study, and I'm like, exactly. I feel like I'm in the montage sequence. Like things are happening. Like it's the action peak of the plot line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like that music, especially with like the mini drops compared to like the big drops that you hear in like mainstream
it takes
EDM.
you up, brings you back down. Takes
But
you
it's
up,
super
brings
subtle,
you back. Yeah,
which I like. Like it's not like da 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 da
yeah.
da da da.
It's not like the song is all climaxing to one point. It had like
Exactly.
little guys and versions throughout.
I feel like a lot of people that listen to electronic music right now and like our age, like and like Gen Z, like our attention span is so low to the point where like they need that big drop, otherwise it's like gonna be unsatisfying.
Oh yeah, like the cathartic release some songs like provide. Yeah, I get that. Like it gets
Exactly.
you going, it brings you up, and then it like crashes you and brings you back down.
Exactly. So I feel like some people couldn't listen to this because they're like, wait, where's the beat drop? But like
No,
it can like
I
feel
kind of
listening
like
to
it.
this like helps you train
It's
your
meditative,
patience.
low key.
Yeah, exactly. No, like meditative.
Yeah.
I honestly like. Do you know Rufus
I've-
Du Sol?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like that. Like I have meditated to "Inner Bloom" by Rufus Du Sol so many times.
Okay, that's so fair. Because I was gonna say, like, I can like low key sleep to like kind of like really loud music. Does that make sense? Like sometimes I'll put on like MGK to like scream in my ear.
As you fall asleep.
No, to like drown me out like before like an afternoon nap. Like it's like
Okay.
so much noise and so much happening at once. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like chaos.
Yeah.
And then you can like find the quiet underneath the chaos.
I
And it's
like
like the best
that.
meditative state ever. And that's what this like stuff kind of reminds me of. Is like there's kind of so much stimulation going on that it's drowning everything else out. So it's just the audio input in your head in that moment when you're listening to that song. Does that make sense?
It actually completely does, and I want to get your input on this because this is how I describe it. Like music like that, or like other, I think like electronic beat songs. Does it scratch your brain? Because that's
yes,
the words
it tickles
I
it in
use.
the best way.
Like you like how like a word can like scratch your brain the way it like rolls off your tongue, but like
Yes.
there's just like a sound can just like
It's
scratch
just-
that part that never gets touched.
Yeah, it's like a sensation, but like stimulating. I don't. Yeah.
It's super. Okay, well, in that
Yeah.
case, I'm super excited to show you this next song. This is Brutalism by Woo York, another amazing Ukraine-based DJ.
cover stories
And
that
the sound
blur
of
the line
underground
between reality and imagination.
This is Golden Beach Radio.
This is Black Mirror.
Hello everyone, my name is Bader. This is my first time doing a segment live Chapman radio station. I would like to welcome my co-host for joining me. Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
What's going on, guys? It is DJ Sawtooth out here.
I'm Renee. Happy to be here.
I'm Caroline. Thank you for having me.
And I'm Curly, and I am super interested to get into this Black Mirror because I've only seen the first episode, and the first episode scarred me deeply.
Okay.
So I'm curious to learn
It was
more.
the first episode of the first season, I'm guessing.
It's the one with the pig.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah,
okay,
that's-
yep.
It's the pig one.
Yeah, that's the one we're gonna cover today. First, I would like to give introduction to Black Mirror. Why did they choose it? Every episode of a Black Mirror that I'm going to use in my segment deals with conflicting moral obligations and gives rise to one of a range of negative emotions: disgust, sadness, fear, each of which is meant to help us to recognize the moral wrongness of some action. With that in mind, when you are listening to this segment, think carefully, look for competing obligations, and try to decide what one should do. For the story, I'm gonna right now start to read the story. In this episode, the British Prime Minister Michael Callow faces an unusual and disturbing situation. A member of the royal family, Princess Susanna, has been kidnapped, and the kidnapper demands an outrageous ransom. Usually, kidnappers ask for money and they have political reasons, but this time is a little bit different. The kidnapper asked the Prime Minister to have an unsimulated sex with a pig on live television in front of 3 billion people to secure the princess release. So the Prime Minister created a plan to try and catch the kidnapper. This plan involves using advanced digital technology to simulate the sex act without actually subjecting the Prime Minister to this humiliating demand. The attempt to capture the kidnapper and execute the digital simulation plan has failed. The kidnapper worked so hard to evade capture, and the situation is escalated with public outrage and media frenzy. As a result, the Prime Minister is left with a difficult decision. He has to have the sex with a pig live on television. For the questions, do you think this for the Prime Minister, do you think he made the right option to? Does he has other options? Do you think he should refuse not to do it?
So I see this segment's getting us to I think this goes to, we were talking about hypotheticals before the show started. That's what this hypothetical gets at, right, Bader?
Yeah.
What do you do in this situation? Has everybody seen this first episode, or?
I have, yeah.
I haven't.
You haven't?
It's bad.
It's a little rough, not gonna lie.
It's
Bader
a lot.
was
It's not a little rough. It's a lot of rough.
Yeah.
Bader was
Bader was explaining that a political figure has to have sex with a pig to ensure the safety of a returning princess.
So the conundrum is,
would you have sex with a pig to ensure the safety of a princess?
Or bye princess.
Right. And in the show we just watched recently, they actually released the princess 30 minutes before he ever had sex with the pig. But that was not known until after the act had been done.
Yeah.
Just to add, of course, that nice little top off. So, just for some background. But if we're talking about U.S., I have a hard time seeing, just for our sake, our president doing that. For our last two with Biden and Trump, just putting them in the episode, I think would not play out exactly the way it did in the episode, if you guys have input.
What if you like replace the president with like you and the princess with like your mother?
Yeah.
Right. That's where I was like,
That's a question
family
I was gonna
members.
ask. Yeah.
But that's what Black Mirror's about,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or at least this episode.
It is.
I feel like if it was me, my mother would be like, "Let me die."
Really?
Like, my mom would be like, "You don't gotta do that." Just let
yeah,
me go off.
she'd be a little bit more understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay if I'm gonna go out this way. Yeah. But I mean, to your point, if you're gonna go that way, she would be released, just like the show, you know. So I don't know.
I think there's some important background that Sawtooth and Bader here need to add because you guys are both in the class.
Yeah.
Have you talked about this in the class? Like, what has the instructor brought up? Anything or other students?
Yes, we have talked about this in the class. It's more like about how do you make right decisions. If we have like if all the options that we have are bad, how can we make like the right decision of them?
Or is there a right decision?
Yeah.
What
is this
your-
like the trolley question? Like,
That question gets me.
are you
Wait a
trying-
minute. What's the
Yeah, what
trolley
is this?
question?
It's like, okay, you're in charge of a railroad track and you see a train barreling towards you. And then you can and at the end of the track there's like 30 people. But you, the track coordinator, can pull the track, and on the other side there's only one person. So like, would you
But isn't that the one person, like your mom or something?
No. Well, that there's like a second part. So it's like, would
Okay.
you pull the lever to like kill one person and save 30, or not be responsible and let the train hit 30 and save that one person who otherwise wouldn't have died? So you're the reason. You know what I mean?
You got to tell me, like, is the one person like the scientists that found the
Right.
cure for cancer?
Right? You don't
And
know.
all the other 30
I think it has
are
to
like
be a random-
criminals.
Yeah, you don't know. It's just random.
They're
It's
all
like
good
a number
people.
game. And then
So I took because I bring this up in one of the classes that I teach, Theories of Persuasion, and I'll kind of have to remember how I do the lecture without my slides off the top of my head. But there's different ethical perspectives that you can take,
yes.
right? Like legally, there's the legal ethical perspective, which like what does the law have to say about this? That's the ethical.
Would you be
stance that
would you
should
be
take.
responsible for a crime otherwise? Yeah.
Right. There's a religious ethical perspective, like whatever your religion dictates or would kind of guide you towards, because whatever the law says and whatever your like religious perspective says could be different. So that's a different ethical framework to operate from. There's the social utilitarian ethical perspective, which gets at the like if the one person is the person that found the cure for cancer and the 30 are criminals, like social utility ethical perspective would say that even though 30 is a bigger number than one,
What they do for society outweighs
right?
it. Gotcha.
Exactly. I'm kind of drawing a blank on the other ethical perspective, but there's different ethical perspectives that you can take to make an ethical argument for a bunch of different decisions that you make.
This specific decision that you have to make, I don't know which one I would use out of those principles, honestly.
Oh, another ethical perspective, and this is one that we can operate from, is the dialectic ethical perspective, which means that we as people can have a dialect or like a conversation together to determine what the most ethical decision would be. So it's not like we operate from a legal standpoint or a religious standpoint, but we can just sit down together as human beings and discuss and figure it out together.
Nice.
But would you guys like could you forgive a loved one who did it? Like could you forgive a loved one who did if he's gonna have like a sex with a pig? Would you forgive him?
I don't know if it's my place to forgive because they didn't do anything wrong to me. It's more like,
Is the question like if you were the princess? If you were the
oh,
one
if
that
he,
needs
like, if he
saving?
didn't
Yeah.
have sex with the pig,
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, I wouldn't. If I'm free either way in the terms of the actual points of the episode where she did get freed, I'd be like,
I understand.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so much concerned with the forgiving. I'd be more concerned with how do we get people to forget?
Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
one.
Like I can forgive, but I can't forget.
And just for some background, I like that you bring that up, though, was the back 2.5 minutes of the episode was their marriage, and it wasn't the same because from her perspective, her husband is now, like you said, tainted with that for his life. You know, people don't forget, you know, and for the rest of your life, you're the guy that had sex with a pig, and that goes for her wife, or his wife is now she's the wife of the guy who had sex with a pig for the rest of her life.
And I don't
And
think she'll
she
probably
and
ever want to
exactly
have sex with him after.
and she
so.
didn't, and she gave him the cold shoulder from then on after the episode, and that's kind of how it ends, of their marriage kind of being a little messed up there. So
Like if you so like then it's like the question of like, would you want to be saved like no matter the extent,
Yeah.
or like is there limitations? I feel like that's a good discussion to have with like a loved one. You know what I mean? Like it's like the hospital conversation. It's like do you want to be like kept alive when you're brain dead or whatever, or do you want to be like unplugged, like at whatever cost? I don't know.
that one's so
That's
tricky though,
crazy.
because it's another one of those things where it comes down to these ethical dilemmas, and like Bader's presenting us with this scenario. What would you do? I guess we have the context, but like the situation that you're bringing up is like the answer is, well, it depends.
yeah, it's a little situational.
Like, what's my percentage of chance?
Am I
of-
showing brain development? Yeah. Am I
Yeah.
still looking good, or
Like,
am I down the hill?
There's a difference between a 20% chance versus a 50%
Yeah,
chance. Like,
definitely.
yeah, the like context matters.
Yeah, brain activity would be big.
Should you watch something like this if it were broadcast? Would you guys be interested to watch it?
Ooh,
if
good,
the
good
act actually
question.
happened?
Good question.
Well, I guess like
my God.
me and Renee
Oh,
were just talking about. Wait, what?
Oh, I was just to clarify, like the episode Black Mirror.
No,
or
the act.
just-
No,
Like
the
if this
act.
happened
Like if
in
our
real
president-
life. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, like me and Renee were just talking about the new show The Idol in the other room, and I was saying it is like a really vulgar TV show, and the last episode it's with Lily Rose Depp in The Weeknd, by the way, but the last like scene in the episode made me and my roommates so incredibly uncomfortable. But yeah, we're still gonna tune in every Saturday because I
Yeah,
decided to
and like I
watch
feel
it.
like sometimes that's like the point.
Exactly. And
we
that's
like to be uncomfortable by like television and
It's like
cinema.
you hate watch it.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that our teacher was telling us about Black Mirror. I didn't actually put the two together, but Black Mirror is actually representing your phone. And all of it, the Black Mirror is your phone. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of, I didn't put the two together until recently, but it all has to
Or
do
like
with
a
technology.
turned off TV screen. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
That makes
Technology, just in general. But yeah, interesting.
So it's commentary, not so much like
I think-
you're looking back at yourself, but that the technology is part of this
Yeah,
too.
Black Mirror is mostly like dystopian futures of what could happen if we keep going in a certain direction.
Yeah, because I guess I lied earlier. I saw a second episode
Yeah.
of Black Mirror, and it's the one where it's like real life likes.
Yeah. Oh, I was probably
Like your-
nosedive.
The amount of likes that you get
Yeah, it'll-
determines like your social level in society.
You get a rating.
God.
Yeah,
Which is like
yeah.
kind of like true.
And then
And, like,
the girl.
And we had that conversation on how true that is that in today's world, you know?
Right. Yeah, that one hit pretty close to home because
my
that one
God.
was.
Yeah.
Seemed
No, I say we
realistic.
can discuss that one maybe on the next episode or something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining me today. I will see you guys on Thursday. Thank you.
We need to get Caroline. We've got the music director here. We need to get some tunage loaded
Let
up.
me go do that.
And while Caroline's getting some tunage loaded up, we might as well do some promotion too. So follow It's Live from Henley Basement on Instagram. We
Twitter.
also have a Twitter. You're kind of the Twitter person there, Sawtooth. What do you
Yeah.
plan on tweeting about the show today?
What have we been tweeting?
We have already tweeted previous episodes. So we have our class Tuesday and Thursday. So each week we will have 2 new episodes involving each person's segment for that week. This week we have Golden Beats. We have Inside the Playbook. We have Audio Obscura. And then we're also going to finish today off with For the Record with DJ Ice Mike. So that'll be on our new episode. That'll be posted on our Twitter along with our Spotify as well. So definitely give that a follow.
Can you give us a little preview of what is going to be tweeted?
Yeah,
because it has to be clever.
No, it is.
It has to be.
It will be.
It has to be engaging.
Up the sleeves.
Okay, yeah. So
we can't just say like, here's the segments that
Spotify.
aired.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so that's what it was giving me. I wasn't doing anything overly creative, but we're gonna get some puns in there, Renee. So,
good.
Well, yeah, we'll communicate. We'll get some puns in there. We'll definitely give some good ideas for upcoming segments as well.
I love it when people tweet about like what national day it is.
Oh, there's always a bunch of national days.
We gotta look up what day Radio Day is.
It's always
National Waffle Day.
National Donut Day happens weekly.
Really?
Yeah,
I like that.
There's always a National Donut Day. Yeah. Did you know that for students that graduated this past spring, Krispy Kreme was giving out like a box of donuts? I think you had to come into Krispy Kreme with your.
I did hear that.
With your regalia on,
Yeah.
like
Oh
your
my
something.
god!
Your
Well,
graduation gown.
didn't they do that with like your COVID vaccination cards too?
Yep.
They did that in like 2020.
They're always giving out free donuts.
Yeah.
Probably a good promotion.
All right, Bader, are we going to play a song? Can you introduce the song before you play it?
Which song?
All right.
Something with Claro.
No dead air. We got Renee.
Throw
It's
away.
you and I. We've got to keep talking.
Throw away with Claro. That's
All
the
right.
song that's coming up.
And then we're going to bring it up here. I'm going to ramp over the beginning.
Just
There we
riffing.
go. All right.
That's funny.
Baby, show me all that I can do. I could be the one to guide you through. Baby, take my hand and I'll show you the way. Bring it a little closer, tell you it's okay. I don't wanna be something you can throw away. Baby, take my hand and I'll show you the way. Bring it a little closer, tell you it's okay. I don't wanna be something you can throw away. And I'm falling so hard for you. Would you be there to catch me too? And I'm falling so hard for you. Would you be there to catch me too? Me too. Baby, take my hand and I'll show you the way. Bring it a little closer, tell you it's okay. I don't wanna be something you can throw away. I don't wanna be something you can throw away. Baby, take my hand and I'll show you the way. Bring it a little closer, tell you it's okay. I don't wanna be something you can throw away. Baby, take my hand and I'll show you the way. Bring it a little closer, tell you it's okay. I don't wanna be something you can throw away. Baby, take my hand and I'll show you the way. Bring it a little closer, tell you it's okay. I don't wanna be something you can throw away.
on, everyone? You're listening to For the Record on Chapman Radio, where we take a deep dive into discography. Hey Chapman, you heard right. You're listening to For the Record, Chapman's only radio show that has been awarded 4 Michelin stars.
Nice.
The voice you are hearing right now is DJ Iceman Mikey.
What's up, guys? It's me, DJ House Arrest Anklet.
What's up, guys? It's your boy DJ Stats.
Cool. Just a quick shout out today. DJ Stats is turning 21, so happy birthday to him.
Thank you, thank you, Iceman. I appreciate it. I appreciated clocking in on my birthday today. But you know, it's always fun here at It's Live from Henley Basement.
Yeah.
And then another shout out to DJ Stone, or Wyatt. He couldn't make it here today. He actually has job training, so congrats on our boy Wyatt. This song, Wyatt, if you're listening, goes to you. You're now listening to the Rolling Stones. I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
All right, as we continue to listen to this classic Rolling Stones song in the background, due to time constraints, we are going to be talking over this about some songs we've been listening to recently, no matter what genre. So, who wants to go first?
You said you've been listening to Silk Sonic, right?
Yeah, Silk Sonic's always in my rotation. You know, I love Anderson .Paak as an artist, as a solo artist. When he collaborated with Bruno Mars, it was just a perfect fit. But also someone I'm listening to a little more on the not serious side, Young Gravy.
Young Gravy. He dated Addison Rae's mom, right?
He did. The MILF hunter himself has, yes. It's a fact. He is.
Well, shout out to Young Gravy, though.
Yes. Betty get money, as he would say there. The song Miami Ice, come on now. That's a great one. You got Mr. Clean.
He did a cover. What cover did he do? Oh, man. I think
that was the song. It was the cover of Take On Me.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the song I'm talking about. Yeah, that's a good one. I got Kendrick in the catalog as always. My favorite artist of all time. Got J. Cole. A lot of new Babytron. as well. Detroit artist. If you're not listening to Babytron, highly recommend it. Some of the best lyrics out there.
I just want to ask you,
right
what's
now.
your favorite Kendrick album?
Oh god, I mean it has to be To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay.
Like I know it's the classic answer. Good Kid, Mad City's so close for me because you have a ton of classics. Like Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, I think is such an underrated song. No, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe.
That's a good one.
Is
yeah.
a classic.
How do you feel about Damn? Where would you rank that?
Damn.
Probably third. Because damn, some of it's really good, but then some of it's a little more radio heavy. Like Humble is fine, but it was more radio heavy.
Sit Down.
Yeah, whereas
Stay Humble.
Yeah, whereas you have like Duckworth is a deep cut off of that one.
Duckworth is so good.
Yeah, Duckworth is one of the best songs.
That's probably my
of all
favorite
time.
closer. of his
Yeah,
albums,
that's a great one. Something awesome I've been listening to. I've been preparing for Utopia to come out, the new Travis Scott album. So I've gone back to some old Travis, some Rodeo, some Birds in the Trap. You know, Sing McKnight. 90210, by far the
That's
best
a
Travis
good one,
song.
yeah.
That's by far
I
the
love
best
that one.
Travis song. Maria, I'm Drunk with Justin Bieber is a good one too. But I've been going back to so much old Travis as well. But I want to hear what you've been listening to though.
By the way, for those of you listening, you are actually listening to Alone Again by Love. This was recommended by D.
Yes. Turn the volume up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
A little bit.
But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, did you want to?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I listened to the album recently called Forever Changes, I believe.
Yeah. Forever
Yeah.
Changes.
Really chill. Kind of reminds me of like Beach Boys, like Pet Sounds sort of thing. Yeah. But I might like this album a little better, to be honest.
Better than Pet Sounds?
Yeah.
Brian Wilson's Mona Lisa of sorts.
Yeah. I said it, Brian Wilson. What are you going to do about it? Yeah.
Well, at least it's not the Beatles' White Album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, White Album, terrible album, but Revolution 9 slaps.
Their White Album, I think the idea behind that was that they were trying to, for the longest time, they've been like progressing throughout their music history. And then people were like, oh, we just want the, Say That You Love Me or Hold My Hand music. And then people, or the Beatles were like, well, let's do that with the White Album. And they were trying to do it, but they just couldn't get it right because they, like, each time they got like close to like their original albums, they were just like, oh, let's tune this a little more. And then it just, again, became more of their like progressive sound. Well, that's the story I've heard. Do you like the Beatles, Josh?
I do. They're not in my rotation that often because I'm not gonna lie, classical music's not as much in my rotation. But I have a ton of respect for what they've done. Obviously, have some classic songs though.
Yeah.
So like, there's no disrespect there. I mean, I definitely have some Beatles on my playlist. Got some Queen. Like you just have to.
Yeah.
Gotta switch up the vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Beatles.
You have to switch up the vibes when the Beatles come on. You gotta skip to the next song.
Whenever the Beatles come on, you gotta skip it, man.
Well, looks like that's all we have time for today.
Oh, really?
You know what, Chapman? We'll play a song for you on the way out. You've been listening to For the Record, Chapman's only radio show that does not discriminate you against your SAT scores. This is DJ Iceman Mikey.
This is DJ Tiny Peepee.
And this is DJ Stats.
And we're going to speak on behalf of Wyatt, DJ Stone.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Mwah.
Say baby, what you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. Don't say that. I'm sipping wine in a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm. Just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. you smoke, what you smoke? I got the haze. And if you're hungry, girl, I got fillets. Ooh, baby, don't keep me waiting. There's so much love we could be making. I'm talking kissing, cuddling, rose petals in the bathtub. Girl, let's jump in, it's bubbling. I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. That you feel the way I feel, and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through.
Yeah. Brassy girls everywhere. Titty ass hands in the air. So party over here. Shaking for the man of the year. Met man of the year. Met man of the bounce. Brassy girls everywhere. Titty ass hands in the air. So party over here. Shaking for the man of the year. Met man of the year. Met man of the bounce. Home of the party in the trees. Sunny land of the G's. Please let a nigga breathe. Tank top down for the breeze. Burnt lips got a blunt full of weed. Peace, love, enemies. Nigga, I ain't come for the beef. You ain't know she came for the speed. Got bite for the cheeks. Nigga, I'm the life for the beef. Fuck that, this shit gotta eat. Bounce for the crown. You be hating and I still hold it down. When you round, man, the girls never lounge. Man, I heard you a hound. Bruh, man, that bitch need a pound. Tip, bounce out of gown. Hands high to the sound. Yeah, I'm the rich nigga now. Bitch, I'm the talk of the town. Make a bitch run the mouth. Yeah, go south for the boy. Pop down to the floor. Bounce. Yeah. Brassy girls everywhere. Titty ass hands in the air. So party over here. Shaking for the man of the year. Met man of the year. Met man of the bounce. Brassy girls everywhere. Titty ass hands in the air. So party over here. Shaking for the man of the year. Met man of the year. Met man of the bounce. Brassy girls everywhere. Titty ass hands in the air. So party over here. Shaking for the man of the year. Met man of the year. Met man of the bounce. On the curb, weed cards, every corner sell herb. Watch it fly to a bird. Nigga, I can pitch you a curb. Let this real shit occur, make meals from a verb. Nigga, cop a crib in the burbs. Nigga, you ain't said nothing but a word. Smoke something for your nerve. Home of the paid on the first, then nigga going broke by the third. Bounce for the crown. Fast forward, getting real to me now. Every dog need a cat to me out every once in a while. I see hands in the crowd, see white, black blaze in the pound. Jumping around. Tits ass bump out of gown. Bounce from the ground, get hype for the sound. First straight from the morgue, down from the floor, bounce. Bounce. Yeah.